Second is regarding the margin. I think on margin you continue to surprise, and even in this quarter, despite of reversal, we have seen EBITDA margin close to 17%, and we have seen some of the levers like offshoring utilization clearly playing out in last few quarters. So is it fair to assume current quarter's EBITDA margin will be, what we can look forward to in FY25 and maybe next coming quarters?
So it's very difficult for me to talk for FY25 and going forward. I think our guided band has been 14 to 16, because we think that that is a more sustainable range which we can work on going forward. Because we still want to create, as we've been saying, we are working on, few of the large deals which will have impact on the margins in short run. Then obviously the enabling of the reskilling of my delivery team is parallelly happening. At the same time, if you see my investments in S&M is also going up. So this is a room which we have created to ensure that, in long run, it helps me to grow faster.
Sure, understood. Thanks for answering both the questions, and good luck for connecting.
Thanks.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Nitin Padmanabhan from Investec. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for the follow-up. Just to clarify, you mentioned 14 to 16% basically allows for large deals that could ramp up. So have we won anything that is likely to execute and thereby have an immediate impact on margin?
No, I don't think we can state anything any large deal which will have impact on the margin just now. Yeah. But
okay, so it's more forward-looking.
Yeah, I mean, you have to build in the capability to do large deals, right? And as we all know well that the large deals typically are not very margin accretive in the initial stages. So we have created that cushion. We also want to create some cushion to invest in sales and marketing and so on. So that is what we are trying to do.
Sure, fair enough. That's helpful. Thank you, Manish.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Vikas Ahuja from Antique Stock Broking. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, sir.
Sure. Hi, Manish. Thanks. So, if I look at some of your peers, their commentary has incrementally started turning positive. And if I remember correctly, in one of your interviews, you have talked about, demand continues to remain tough and mega deals are occurring, but, you are also seeing an equal number of that being cancelled. So anything changed for us in last 1.5 months? I mean, things are incrementally turning positive for us. Thank you.
As far as the macros are concerned, I don't think there is been a material change in the macros that we have been seeing over the last couple of quarters. And I don't think it is materially going to change for the next 2 quarters also, the overall macros.
Okay, and also also the other part regarding that mega deals you talked about, that you have been seeing some cancellations on that side. Overall, anything has improved on that front as well?
No, actually, what I was quoting was that for every 2 large deals getting signed, 1 existing deal is getting cancelled or something like that. So that is what I had said. But we are at a stage where we have to first win some good amount of large deals, and then hopefully we can comment on cancellations. But what I was commenting on was what I had heard, in the industry discussions.
All right. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sandeep Shah from Equirus Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Manish, you might have answered this, but for a consistent growth for Zensar over the next 3 to 5 years, the three things might have to be addressed. One is the large deal team formation, which caters to the pipeline and converts the pipeline faster. Second being the farming of the existing top clients or target clients, and third being the hunting of must-have clients on an ongoing basis. And the fourth being having a required door openers or service capability in the portfolio across verticals. So can you throw light whether Zensar has addressed all these four in terms of restructuring and reorganization, or still some of this is work in progress? And when do you expect these to get addressed and we can actually grow in line with the industry?
All these things have been addressed. Are they perfect? The answer is no. There's always room for improvement, right? So, from a strategy perspective, all these four items have been addressed. And we are seeing, as I said, we are seeing some green shoots already. Farming, as I mentioned, EN is the highest. Existing new deals is highest over the last few quarters, which is a very encouraging sign and shows that farming is working. Do we disclose net new logos? No.
Net new logos, yes.
Okay.
9.
We have opened 9 net new logos. Some of them are, quite a few of them are Fortune 500 companies overall. So all those things are happening. It is not that they are not happening. But you cannot be binary that either they are happening, not happening or happening perfectly. So it is always a journey.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, if you wish to ask questions, you may please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Ganesh Shetty, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello.
You are audible, sir. You may proceed with your question.
Sir, are you looking for any acquisition because you have got considerably cash and cash reserves, and especially in healthcare sector, we are having less exposure. So whether this sector can be scalable through acquisition?
Yes, we are looking at all avenues, including acquisitions. Almost every week, we look at a possible acquisition target, and the team is actively working on. But we will not buy something just for the heck of it. So where we see a strategic fit and the right price, I have a fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders to conserve cash. And we continue to look, but we are not going to throw money at doing an acquisition if it's not worth it.
Sir, my second question is regarding that high-tech performance for last so many quarters. So as we see no ray of hope in near future, are we also planning to reduce some exposure, like reducing our investment and deploying the resources in ever-growing sector like BFSI and consumer? Can you
we always keep looking at our portfolio, and we don't do it at a sector level, but we actually do it at an account level. And we go and see where we want to invest, where we want to maintain, and where we want to divest. So we continue to do all three, and we do it at an account level instead of trying to do it at a sector level.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot. That's all from me. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. We have the next question from the line of Jalaj from Swan Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the opportunity. First of all, could you talk about the two segments, high-tech and...
But your line was breaking in between. I request you to please repeat your question.
Sure. Am I audible?
Better. Go ahead.
Yeah. Could you touch upon the sudden degrowth or rather in both life sciences and high tech, is it all the complete impact is because of the furloughs, or are there some client-specific issues or some project-related issues there?
No, there are a lot of impact because of furloughs, and there are some project cancellations also. So project completions and project completions, cancellations overall. So both those issues are there.
Okay. And could you touch upon the nature of the PBDD which you talked about, 110 bps impact, which vertical was it, and some nature of it, color to it?
So I won't be able to disclose in which vertical it was and all, but what I can tell you that according to the accounting norms, when beyond certain days, if the collection is not happening, so we need to create a provision of the same in the book. So according to our accounting policy, we had created that provision in earlier quarters. In Q3, that collection actually happened. So with the collection, we had to reverse the PDD, and that's where you are seeing impact.
Got it.
To emphasize, this is an ongoing thing. There is nothing one time that we have done something or anything. We are just following our accounting policies and showing you the impact. That's all.
Fair point. And Manish, this would be for you, maybe a little long-term question, 2-3 years or 5 years down the line. What, as per you, or what are you seeing as a growth driver for the organization, and where are we moving? Maybe you could talk about from a IG industry group level or a service line. How do you see the growth coming out more from a driver's perspective?
No, so I think one of the repositioning that we have done is along the lines of experience engineering engagement. We are perhaps the only company of our size which can do these all three things together and in sync with each other. As more and more digital projects are getting done, it is not about just experience or just engineering or just engagement, but a combination of three. And that is a unique value proposition that is resonating really, really well in our client base. It is helping us differentiate in the market. So I am hoping, and I'm seeing some green shoots where also that this overall strategy will get us to the growth and the top quartile performance that I am looking at in the next 3 years.
Got it. Yeah. Thanks a lot and best of luck.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sandeep Shah from Equirus Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks for the follow-up. Manish, one of the lead indicators for us to judge whether the strategy is running or not running could be tracking the deal pipeline. So can you throw some light in terms of how the deal pipeline at the end of December looks like, both on a Q-on-Q and YOY basis? Is it growing higher than your expectation, or it's not meeting your expectation?
Yeah, the deal pipeline is stable to better than same time last year. So that's about all I can say because we do not disclose the numbers per se. But I can tell you that it's same or better as compared to last year.
Okay.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jalaj from Swan Investments. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the follow-up. Manish, with regards to the offering or the repositioning you talked about, could you specifically touch upon the healthcare vertical? Because I believe that in your previous role, you've been managing the same. So could you talk a little about the repositioning of us as a Zensar as a company and the industry trends there? Thank you.
So this quarter is the first time that we have split out the healthcare as a vertical. Actually, we were doing close to 9 to 10% of our revenues was coming from healthcare, and the obvious thing was that if without focus this kind of revenue can be generated, then with focus a lot more can be generated. And that you would have seen in the results of the other players in the industry. Most of them have shown significant growth in healthcare and life sciences. So we have spun it off, or we have created a new vertical, and we will continue to invest in getting exceptional growth in this particular vertical. And yes, I will use my experience in the industry from the past.
So from a service line offering or the offerings we have right now in healthcare, do you feel like we are there, or some more investments need to be made there, or an M&A would be required in this vertical further?
Both M&A and investments, we are not there. As I said, we have just started the vertical. It's barely 2 months old, 3 months old. So we are hiring some excellent people. We are looking at M&A. So both, whatever it takes, we want to do it, because this is a pretty good vertical to be in.
Okay. And some industry trends, if you were to talk about maybe some micro payer segment, pay segment, whatever you see like there?
So payer segment is pretty saturated as far as I see it. There is not too much scope for new players. I would say the innovation segment, which is medtech and life sciences, etc. There we will see much more innovation is happening, and when innovation happens, agile companies like ours, who have a complete suite of offerings, from experience to engagement, we tend to do better. Provider space is very large, but again, provider space is pretty focused on on-site only kind of deals. So we will have to pick and choose what we will take and what we will not take.
Understood. Best of luck. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Devang Bhatt from IDBI Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. So apart from healthcare, any specific areas that you plan to do M&A, or you have identified any particular segments to do M&A?
Yeah, we have a complete M&A strategy in place, and there is a corporate development team focused exclusively on M&A, and we have fairly detailed strategy in place.
Okay. And in terms of, say, generative AI, are you seeing some traction, or in which segments are you seeing generative AI traction?
We are seeing a lot of traction, but primarily in proof of concepts. Last time in one of the calls I had mentioned that we are doing close to 100 proof of concepts overall in the Gen AI space. But a lot of them are either revenues is small, or we are doing it pro bono to get into larger deals using Gen AI space. But we are doing a lot in that area.
Great. And sir, in terms of, say, your segment-wise, maybe in medium term, which segments are you seeing green shoots, and which segments are you seeing headwind? I mean, vertical-wise.
Headwind is obvious, high tech, and the rest of the things I said I have been doing pretty okay. So that is pretty much the answer. And basically, we are in just 4 verticals. We don't want to spread ourselves very thin. So that is where those headwinds and tailwinds we are. And as I said, even BFSI, knock on wood, we are seeing growth where other competitors and other industry colleagues have seen negative growth.
Great. Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking my question.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask a question, you may please press star and one. Next question is from the line of Jalaj from Swan Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So picking up your brains a little more on healthcare. Do you guys expect that healthcare would contribute to somewhere mid-teens or a higher level of the top line in the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, obviously the hope is there that it will contribute disproportionately. I mean, without creating a vertical, it was contributing 9-10%. So if we are creating a vertical, hopefully it will give us that growth.
Got it. And then one thing which you alluded upon and which your peers have been saying, majority of them have had a good quarter-on-quarter and a YOY in healthcare. So some specific issues for us, since we have rather a YOY, we had a huge degrowth there on a small base also.
A particular completion of a few projects and also some amount of furlough. And companies who are seeing growth, they are working primarily in the payer segment where this is the open enrollment season this quarter, so they see an uptick in revenue.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nitin Padmanabhan from Investec. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for the follow-up. Could you give us some color on the deal wins that we have won in the quarter, maybe by vertical? Where are you seeing the most strength? Or even if you could give a trend over the last 3 quarters, where have you seen the biggest strength from a deal win perspective when you look at verticals?
So, Nitin, we don't give the split of deal wins by verticals. But what I can tell you...
Not qualitative. Yeah. Just qualitatively.
Yeah. So quantitatively, if you look at, obviously my order book is reflecting a consistent improvement on a year-on-year basis. Last quarter, we reported $194 million. This quarter, we reported $167 million, which is on a YOY basis, there's a significant improvement, if you see, starting from Q1 itself. So for last 3 quarters, we had a pretty healthy deal order book, which represents the deals. And as Manish said, especially in this quarter, our existing new portion of the deal wins has been one of the highest in last, maybe 8-10 quarters. So I think that is the reflection of the farming which is happening across across the verticals, except the high tech where we are seeing some headwinds.
Sure. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Manish Tandon for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining this call, which turned out to be a very important day in the history of this country and also a holiday. So I am very grateful that you could join even on a holiday. Thank you very much.
Thank you. On behalf of IDBI Capital, that concludes this conference. Thank you all for joining us. You may now disconnect your lines.